I just got word that Russia has dropped leaflets on Kiev telling the people to get out. Okay. So we will see. That's what I've been told from Ukraine. Nothing of what you think is real is real. The press just puts out the propaganda the same way as Pravda did during the communist days, in Russia. Look at most of your stories that say, oh, Russia's weak. Basically, I think that Trump has some of the wrong advisors in here right now. It shows that you have sometimes a little bit of knowledge can be dangerous. His proposal to eliminate the income tax and replace it with tariffs. Where it comes from is, yes, before the income tax, the U.S. basically covered everything but with tariffs. But back then, the government was a lot smaller. We didn't have all these social programs and stuff. Right. And most people don't really know, but Congress rarely met. And before the Civil War, they were paid on a per diem basis. So there were no career politicians. All right. The Civil War came, and that's what really created the career politicians, because they bribed people to join their side and said, if you vote with us, we'll give you an annual salary. And that's when career politicians began. Most people don't realize that, but so that's how we've gone downhill ever since.
What year was this again? What year was that?
Civil War.
Okay.
1860s. And it's, the original design of the Founding Fathers was probably very brilliant. It was a government by the people. So you would go down and more or less like Athens was a democracy, but the head of the household would go down and vote, basically. Shall we go to war with this one? Or, it wasn't every little thing that we have gotten into now. I mean, the problem we have now with governments is that because they're career politicians and they feel like they haven't done anything, well, gee, let's see, what can we regulate? And they just keep coming up with laws after, and the hedge fund industry. I mean, I warned them. I was down there in Congress back in the 80s, and I told them they had to merge the SEC and CFTC. Every country has just one regulatory body for finance, and they wouldn't do it. They said, gee, if we did that, we'd have to lay off 50,000 people from the CFTC. And I warned them that you're going to, everybody's going to be, forced offshore. Because if you obeyed the laws of the SEC, you went to jail with the CFTC. SEC was just a flat fee for management. CFTC says you could charge anything as long as it's disclosed. So I had turned down a management offer to run a $60 billion fund. I said, no thanks, not interested. Oh, gee, why? I said, because if I thought everything was going to crash, by law, the maximum I'm allowed to hedge is 17%. That's it. If I went more than that, now I'm in violation because I really should be a futures fund. I mean, this is no way to run it. So most Americans don't realize it, but that has forced the decision upon every investor. Should I be in bonds? Should I be in stocks? Should I be in commodities? What should I be doing? Because you have all these fund managers, but they're pigeonholed. Bond guys are going to say the bonds are best. The gold guys are going to say, oh no, this is the best. I mean, it's like a bunch of used car salesmen. Look, on the one hand, you have these neocons and NATO saying, "Oh, see, give us a lot of money. Putin wants to conquer Europe." I think if he wanted to conquer Europe, he would have done it a long time ago. He's been there since 1999. Then in the next breath, oh, he's afraid of NATO. So which is it? Is he afraid to invade because of NATO? Give us more money? Or give us more money because he's going to invade? They say whatever they need to say. I can tell you from direct sources that NATO, what started a lot of this, was the climate change stuff.
Okay.
And NATO was afraid that more money was going to climate change than to them. And they basically adopted a policy. How do we remain relevant? They need to beat the war drum to keep the money going. Like any agency. All right, it's once you create any kind of a government agency, they will always act in their own self-interest, and they'll do whatever it takes to stay alive. That's why I wish, basically Musk, a lot of luck, but it's not so easy.
What do you make of these cabinet picks? I mean, the cabinet nomination process is pretty much done. Trump's kind of put out his list out into the open. You've got RFK at HHS. You've got Hegseth at DOD, Rubio at State. What do you make of these picks? And then you've also got a former Soros associate at Secretary of Treasury. What do you make of these picks here so far?
Well, I used to be part of the vetting process. They would send me in to meet with people who wanted to run for president, but I'd explain how the world economy really works. We're all connected. You can't do one thing unilaterally. But it was really a vetting process, and when I would get back, they would say, "What do you think? Is he smart enough? Can he handle the job?" Then 1999 came. And I was asked to go down to meet with Bush Jr. Mm-hmm. They said, "Oh, but this one's different." I said, "What's different?" "Oh, he's really stupid." And I said, "Why would you make somebody stupid president?" And they said, "He's got the name so we can win." All right. Look, Obama, you can Google that. I think about 40% of his morning briefings he never went to. This is what they want. They want an absentee president so they can do whatever they want, which is what you see going on with Biden. All right. So these people picked Bush's cabinet. They put in Cheney. All right. I was even asked at the time if I would accept the chief economic advisor in the White House. I said, "No, thank you. I'm not giving up my company for this." So I know the process. When Trump first went in, they picked his cabinet. "Oh, you don't have, political experience. You need to give confidence to the world that everything's going to be run by, qualified people." They stuck in people like John Bolton, all the neocons, and Bolton wanted to start World War III because Iran shot down an unmanned drone. And this is why Trump is picking his own cabinet now. If you understand what happened before, you can see what he's doing now. But he's picking a cabinet, but not letting them do it.
But isn't Rubio a neocon too? I mean, isn't he very hawkish on Russia?
China more. Look, I've had communications with Rubio. He is, to me, he's not a hardcore neocon, but he certainly leans in that direction. Mm-hmm. But he's more China, I think, than Russia.